Thank you very much for taking me out of order. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
My name is Gregory Smith, and I'm a partner at the McLean Middleton firm here in Concord. I've listened to the testimony we've heard this morning. I agree with those who have said that they think it's time to repeal the death penalty. And I'm in support of HB 455. I wanted to offer you my perspective, which is a little different from what you've heard from so many others. I had the privilege to be Attorney General of the state. Before that, I served for 7 years in the criminal division, or the Deputy Attorney General's position. So I have been involved one way or another in approximately 250 homicide cases. And I've probably been to 100 to 125 homicide scenes before it was disturbed. I say that because I know one of the arguments people raise is that the death penalty has to be reserved for certain murder cases. And I think that the witnesses have told you that they are all terrible. That they are all terrible. We're right. And I could tell you, although I'm not here today, about all sorts of cases where the way in which the homicide was carried out was a terrible circumstance involving men, women, and children, all types of weapons, and all kinds of ways in which those people died. My concern is that the death penalty is anachronistic. It does not serve the purposes of criminal justice to reform or protect society any better than life without parole, which is far less costly. But the central point I would like to make, having told you that I have seen many of these cases, is that we have a system that arbitrarily picks out some people and imposes the death penalty. And it's for the reasons that the lawyer a few minutes ago gave you, in part. And we can say all we want about standards and statute and how we're going to go through a list of criteria, but it's a system administered by people, and it is subject to error. And we don't have to speculate about that. We know that. We know that there are over 150 people who went through all the protections we award an American citizen and still were convicted of capital murder, placed on death row, and spent years there, and it was subsequently determined that they were innocent. Over 150 of them. In other words, in about 10% of the cases since 1973, at least 10%, the system made a mistake. But if we look a little more deeply into what's happening with this system, and to the point made to you earlier, the reason that we apply a disparate penalty, and this one is so drastic, is because of a sequence of decisions by police officers, by prosecutors, by jurors, and judges who are subject to implicit bias, who don't know where their biases lie. They may think they are doing the right thing, and I believe in most cases that, if not almost all of them, they do. But we also know that the outcome of applying this system is appalling, because this burden falls disproportionately on certain racial and ethnic groups and on people in the lower socioeconomic status in our society. All you have to do is look at the information, and it's there, staring us right in the face. So, whatever the reasons for human shortcomings that produce that, that's what the system produces. So, we've had, I would estimate, 1,000 to 1,500 murder cases in New Hampshire since the last execution 80 years ago. I know personally that there were cases that involved capital circumstances. There were other cases involving killing of police officers, but those defendants did not get the death penalty. So there is a highly arbitrary and selective nature to how this works. And 1,500 murder cases, all of them having circumstances that we could describe as terrible. In 80 years, we've only against one person. So I know your time is short, and that was essentially what I wanted to say, which is I've seen these cases. It is simply not so that we can single out some those are just a lot worse than the others. And because we are unable to fairly and justly apply the death penalty in murder cases in this country, I think it's past time that we should leave it in history, so to say.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
And are there questions? Seeing none.
Thank you very much. Thank you.